On a summer morning in Minnesota, a car rolled down a suburban street. Inside, a 6-year-old boy sat beside his mother. Minutes later, he would be dead. Not from a stranger, not from an intruder, not from an accident, but from the person meant to protect him most. And what police found afterward would turn the quiet custody battle into one of the most disturbing child murder cases in recent American history. On May 20th, 2022, in Minnesota, a 6-year-old Eli Hart was riding in the back seat of his mother's car. His mother, Julissa Thaler, had just picked him up from school. What happened next was not an accident and not a moment of confusion. It was a deliberate act. According to investigators, while the vehicle was in motion, Thaler produced a handgun and shot her son multiple times inside of the car. The vehicle continued moving until it left the road and came to a stop. When officers arrived, they found the child unresponsive. He was pronounced dead at the scene. But the horror did not end with the shooting. When police searched the vehicle, they found a handgun, a spent shell casing, and a spent bullet lodged in the back seat. Investigators later determined that the weapon had been reported stolen months earlier. The child had been shot at close range, inside the vehicle, while alone with his mother. There was no evidence of a struggle, no evidence of another suspect, only the mother and the child she had just killed. In the months leading up to Eli's death, there had been a high-conflict custody dispute between his parents. Court records showed allegations of instability, concerns about mental health, and repeated legal filings regarding Eli's safety. Despite those concerns, Thaler retained custody at the time of the shooting. Just hours before his death, Eli had been at school like any other day, laughing, learning, and expecting to go home. Instead, he was driven away by his own mother and never came back. Thaler was arrested shortly after the incident. She was charged with first-degree premeditated murder and second-degree intentional murder. Prosecutors argued that the shooting was deliberate and planned. During the trial, evidence showed the gun was inside the vehicle, the shots were fired at close range, and there was no external threat or provocation. The jury deliberated for only a few hours. On February 16, 2023, Julissa Thaler was found guilty of first-degree murder. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Eli Hart's death sparked outrage across Minnesota. Many questioned the custody decisions, the warning signs, and whether the system failed to protect him. In response, lawmakers introduced Eli's Law, aimed at strengthening protections for children in high-conflict custody situations. But for Eli, those reforms came too late. Eli was 6 years old. He liked school, he liked playing, and he trusted the person who picked him up that morning. He did not know that he was being driven toward his own death. Some crimes come from strangers, some come from desperation, and some come from the person a child is taught to trust without question. If you want more historically accurate true crime stories told without sensationalism, only the facts, the people, and the crimes that history recorded, subscribe to A Veil of Crime. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee. The link is right on the channel page. Because some stories should never disappear, and some victims deserve to be remembered.